Hey guys, it's Mr. Jack and 000 here, back with Automation the Car Company Tycoon game, and what you're seeing right now is one of my latest builds called the JMC H-Series SPT or Super Truck. This truck was made to compete in the 2001 FIA European Truck Racing Championship Series. For the requirements of competing in the ETRC series, the truck has to weigh 5,000 kilograms, a max top speed of 100 miles per hour, no driving aids, an engine displacement of 14 liters, and a power rating of around 1,400 horsepower. Due to the limitations of this game, I could only achieve the weight, top speed, and driving aid requirements while building this truck. The body that I've used to create the Super Truck is made by a modder named the Techno Vampire in his European Cab Over mod file. The link is at the bottom of the description if you want to download it. It has a lap time of 1 minute 52 seconds 44 milliseconds at the quote-unquote Top Gear test track, and 3 minutes 15 seconds 33 milliseconds at the automation track, a top speed of 99 miles per hour, and a 0 to 60 in 8.1 seconds flat. This vehicle used a 13.57 liter V10 turbo engine that produces 1,093.1 horsepower and 2,399.9 foot-pounds of torque. It has a fuel efficiency rating of 2.5 miles per gallon and weighs 11,023.2 pounds or exactly 5,000 kilograms. And for the market, I'm quite surprised that it competes in a few of them, such as the Grand Touring Premium, Hypercar, Convertible Super, and Supercar markets. In terms of how I created the H-Series Super Truck, the panel material will be made out of aluminum with a light truck monocoque chassis made out of galvanized steel. The engine placement is a front longitudinal with a double wishbone suspension for the front and back. For the engine, it is a V10 cast iron with the bore and stroke set to 120 millimeters with a dual overhead cam 5 valve made out of cast iron. The crankshaft is made out of billet steel, the conrods are heavy duty forged, and the pistons are regular forged. For the compression, it is set at a somewhat of a high 10.6 to 1, the cam profile at 35, and we got VVT at all cams. And for the force inductor, we're running in a twin turbo setup, and we got ball bearings with the intercooler set to 1,460 horsepower, the compressor set to 65.5 millimeters, turbine at 70, the AR ratio at 0.934, and the max boost at a whopping 27.6 psi. For the fuel system, we are using a direct injection throttle per cylinder configuration with a race intake running on ultimate fuel. The fuel mixture has been maxed out to 10.0, the ignition timing at 100, and the RPM limit at 2600 RPM. For the headers, the only option is a short cast using a single exhaust with bypass valves and the exhaust diameter set to 140 millimeters or 5.5 inches with a high flow 3-way cattle converter, and we're not using mufflers whatsoever. For the drive type, we're using a rear drive with advanced automatic 5 gears with the top speed set to 101.5 miles per hour with the speed limiter set to 99.4, which we get a top speed of 99 miles per hour. For the tires, we're using semi-slicks with the front tires set to a beefy 375 millimeters at the front and 335 millimeters in the back, running on 23-inch magnesium rims. For the brakes, they're both vented discs, which are also the requirements for the ETRC for the brakes to use, and they are maxed out to a 420 millimeters front and back with a race preset. And apparently, I don't know what the graph is doing here for the grip. It just goes from kind of flat and then beep, like a freaking heart rate monitor, I swear. For the under tray, it's interesting we're not using an under tray because if we use an under tray, it adds drag to the vehicle, thus slowing it down, which is pretty weird. And for the brake airflow, I set up to an 80 just to give it that water on your brakes type of vibe, because these super trucks, since they are so heavy under high braking force, the way to cool down your brakes is to use water on them. They're not air cooled. Like, you can air cool them, but you gotta water cool them, so there's not a good chance that you can shatter them under high temperatures. For the interior, we're using a sport interior with no entertainment. That's pretty much a standard issue for a race vehicle, right? It's got variable hydraulic steering with no driving aids whatsoever, which was the requirements which I mentioned earlier. And we also got standard safety standards. For suspension, we are using active sport springs with semi-active dampers, using our only option is passive sway bars with a race preset. Despite a fair amount of list of problems on here, such as the wheel spin, quality settings, short gearing, dampers, brake force, all that good stuff, we're going to export this to BeamNG.drive and test it out. So here we are at the modded map of Lakeside Park Raceway, and looking at this truck, this seems pretty legitimate of a super truck of how everything is sponsored all over the truck. Like, our primary sponsor here is Distance right here. I don't know what it means. I don't know if it's Distance Racing, like some sort of business or whatever. But you got the back of the truck, the side here, both the right and left side of the truck, and the windshield too. I know super trucks in real life, they do have like a colored stripe that goes on the top of the windshield here. Like, you got like whatever, an orange, yellow, black, whatever stripe, and it's got the sponsors on top of that stripe. When I tried to do that in automation, I put the stripe on it and then the sponsors. The sponsors, like all the polygons and everything, goes haywire, so I just ditched that and just placed the sponsors on the windshield. So let's pretend we do have a colored stripe on that. Just use your imagination, kids. So I backed up way behind the starting line, and we're going to be doing some basic performance tests with the super truck. The first one we're going to be doing is a 0 to 62 acceleration test. Second, a 62 to 0 brake test. And lastly, a top speed run if possible on this map. Like, either we can do this on the track, if not, like, find some open space somewhere, like around here outside the track, and get a top speed if it goes 100 miles an hour. So first things first, we're going to be doing the acceleration test right now. Well, we'll do one without the launch like I'm doing right now, and one with the launch. So 0 to 62 in 6.2 seconds. How about with a launch? So go to realistic gearbox, rev it a little, and go. I mean, this is an advanced automatic transmission, not a manual or I think dual clutch would work, the same thing too. And 6.07 seconds, wow. Okay, I'm gonna get a brake test going right about at 62 now. See, look at no ABS, and we were skidding the tires. 62 to 0 in 3.81 seconds of 164.4 feet. I mean, for this type of truck, not that bad. Like, if this were to be like an average vehicle, not an average vehicle, but an average truck, this would probably go a little bit longer in both time and distance. And trying to get a top speed going. And also, I also noticed with this truck, I also made a truck like 6 months ago called the Unreliable Semi, and top speed. Wow, we already hit top speed. We're just bouncing off the red line at 98 miles per hour. Exhaust is popping, so let's just crash it here since I already reached top speed. I would say I've made this truck 6 months ago. Not exactly like this. It had the longer bonnet on the front of the vehicle, which was called the Unreliable Semi Truck, where the wheels break off when you turn, because that's where I realized, are we going through the tire barrier? I would say that's where I realized, like, if you steer left and right, how the steering breaks. That was before I knew that the rim offset could cure the problems of, like, the steering. Like, steering left to right, like, whatever, like 90 degrees or something, like the wheels turn like 90 degrees and they just snap right off. Like, that's how it had happened before building that semi-truck in the past. And like that was kind of not that of an exciting crash. Went through the tire barriers and into this wall. And just like that, the engine is running. Can we back up through the tire barriers? No, because we're stuck in the wall. Let's force this out a little. Here we go. Bring it down, a regular cam, and the tire barriers don't exist. Look at that. Back up a little. I mean, look at that. The tire barriers just don't exist for some reason. Can I go through here? Yes, I can. I think B25 really needs to update the tires and make them solid somehow. So this is the vehicle I was talking about, like what I made 6 months ago, which is called the Cascade SE. Before, I called it like a Freightliner Peterbilt looking truck. Like this one, I call it a Freightliner, and this one more of a Peterbilt looking truck. The actual truck is based off a Scania, I think a Scania 4 Series made in Sweden in the 90s, and I didn't even knew what truck it was. I thought this was like a Freightliner and that a Peterbilt, but I was far from wrong when people were saying it in the comments on that video. And like I was talking about the steering, you steer left with the Cascade, dead. There goes the tire. Just like that, that's what it shows in the thumbnail, showing that front right tire just broken. I've done that just for clickbait purposes. Not even that the steering is not that reliable. The top speed, like acceleration, is pretty abysmal, even though it's got a Detroit diesel engine. I think a 671 Detroit diesel engine that produced like around 180 horsepower and 470 pounds-feet of torque. I look, 50 miles an hour, and we're like driving like we have something behind the vehicle, like we're towing something. Like if I do a brake test right now, 54 miles an hour, look, I'm braking hard on the brakes, still hard on the brakes, still hard on the brakes, and still hard on the brakes yet again. But you need to stop saying that. 54 to 0 in 10.09 seconds of 412.34 feet. And it is just laughable for this type of vehicle. I mean, this is before where I just started to gain more knowledge on building vehicles and actually put effort on like creativity and actually put more knowledge in like building like certain vehicles. Like this type of semi-truck weighing like 5 tons. Like, I think the brake size are like stupid small, right? Like if I go inside, oh yeah, they're pretty small for the rear. Yeah, kind of for the front. Yep. I was a mediocre designer back in the day. So let's stay on this map here, and we're going to be doing a time trial on the main circuit of this map with the H-Series. And in real life, the ETRC, they use a rolling start setup when they start their races. So we're going to be doing a rolling start for this time trial, which is a first for this channel. So I'm going to be taking you to the starting line right about now. Okay, so here we are, way over here. So I think the rolling start, how this works, that's the FOV how it is. I thought it was way back. So I think I just drive like here, make a turn, and then like 3, 2, 1 somewhere's over here, or at the start and finish line where I take control. I mean, this is a first for me, so let's hit start. Ready, go. Okay. So I just go. I thought like the AI would take control of me and just whatever. I get close to start and finish line. That's where I take control. Like if this was Gran Turismo or the Super Trucks racing game where I've inspired on building this truck. Which that was a PS2 game. I don't know about other consoles, but that was a PS2 game released in the United States and elsewhere by XS Games and Jester Interactive, which I think both of those companies are dead. So 70 miles per hour and go. Kind of like real life. So here's the start of our lap. Hitting top speed right now and getting ready for the brakes now. I mean, be easy on the brakes because no ABS, no traction control, no ECS. This is how the big boys race with these types of trucks. And this handles surprisingly well. I mean, there goes the timey thingy again. I still don't know what the problem is with how the time does that. A mod or a bug issue. I still don't know what the problem is. I should probably check on the forums or something. I put a forum post or whatever. A little bit bad on that corner, but that doesn't even stop me nothing. And here goes the first lap. We do not know what the time is, unfortunately. And about a month ago, I raced this track before when I created the POP 295, which was the lightest sports car that I've ever made of 161 kilograms. So I raced on this track, and I got like a lap time of 1 minute 39 seconds and I don't know milliseconds. I wasn't really paying attention. But when I first raced at this track, I didn't even knew like this would be like a short course. I thought this would be like a 2 or 3 minute course or something, which I was far from wrong. This corner on the other hand, kind of went bad on the apex, and didn't even hit the brakes that hard enough. Stupid me. Now I'm having Gran Turismo vibes of how the frickin' rev line just bounces like that. And even the start and finish line glitches out with the timer, how the camera just goes in and out like real quick. Which, goddamn lag. Now I'm starting to get some of that stop lag going right now. I don't know if it has something to do with my GPU, even though I'm a 970 user running on medium graphics settings, or my somewhat aging Xeon processor, which is a W3690, which is equivalent to an i7-990X. But that's a first-gen Intel i7 processor, which that 990, of course, is the extreme model of the processor. Oh, drift with the stop lag. Damn it. Damn it. I about had it until the stop lag decided to kick in. It just like lag, stop like that. Just lags for a minute, stops lagging, lags for a minute, stops. I mean, I don't even have anything open. No, I don't. Just OBS and Audacity in this game. So after that crash, I think we are auto-steering to the left as we messed up the alignment. Yes, we did. And can we drift again? That was a bad drift. I mean, if I was still drifting along, then that would be somewhat of a clean drift going in that first corner. And I don't know if this is our last lap. Like, I can't even tell. The lap counter is still busted. Camera's going in and out yet again. I think this might be our final lap. If it is, then great. Alright, come up to our last corner and another lap time. Okay, this may be our final lap that we're going into. So technically 2 laps to go and we cross the start and finish line. We may be going 1 lap to go. And camera screwed up yet again. Ah, crap. I'm surprised the barriers don't exist in this game. I thought crashing those barriers, I thought we'd screw up the truck even more. And I swear we completed 4 laps of this race. I mean, this is another green checkpoint thinking it's another lap. I think the game's bugged out. Hold up, did I see some green right there? I gotta stop. I think it was an illusion, because I don't see another green marker at the start and finish line. I'm gonna go around this track one more time. If that thing still shows a green marker, then I don't know what to say. This track is 100% broken. I might as well just switch tracks to just give you a result. Not just be driving around like this, but give you a result of like whatever, the West Coast USA track, Grand Valley Speedway or something. Probably a vanilla track like West Coast USA. Like whatever, find a shorter track of the race and hopefully that marker is blue. That's the start and finish. And hopefully that is blue, not green. If it's green, then I don't know. Might as well just uninstall this game and hopefully that would work out. Are you kidding me? You see that? It's blue. Not blue, it's green. You know, go to pit road. I'm done with this race. I mean, we already did our 4 laps. Can we make the gap? Yes, we can. Going 50 miles an hour on pit road. Let's just crash this into the control tower here. Goodbye, left tire. And looking at the damage, the driver... Hold on, check the interior. I mean, I don't have the interior mod set up due to the complications of... The driver would have been seriously injured for that crash. Wow, I didn't even expect that. Unless he's a right-hand drive vehicle, then he'll be fine. Since this track is broken, I'm about to probably go to like the West Coast USA and just give you the results of a 4-lap time using the rolling start and just give you a time on that track. So here we are at West Coast USA running on the short track version of this track. And same thing, we're going to be doing 4 laps with a rolling start of doing this time trial. So we're going to get things rolling here after ready and go. And also I'll come back with the results of doing my 4 laps in this track. So coming out of the final corner, we're about to get a lap time. Looks like in the 130s, we're overheating slightly. So 4th lap time, 1 minute 34 seconds, 377 milliseconds. We're definitely overheating. Of a total time of 6 minutes, 19 seconds, 836 milliseconds. Compared to the first lap and all the other 3, it was like I did worse. Compared to the first lap to the second lap, second to third, third to fourth. So this vehicle, this got a lot of wheel spin. Like if you're trying to turn and then accelerate, especially at full throttle, that's where you kick the back end and start to slide all over the place. And not only that, this vehicle overheats really easily, especially at high RPMs and when you're starting to accelerate and it just starts smoking, kind of like this. It's starting to smoke already and we're about to crash to end its misery, so let that go. Drivetrain's gone mental. And let's go to free roam to see the extent of the damage. And the engine is still working. Let me back up just to see the damage right here. So looking at it, I mean the cab's been shifted over quite a bit. And I don't know how the drivetrain... Tire busted. Like, how? That. Okay, yeah, that's definitely busted, alright. I was saying, I don't know how the drivetrain being this disconnected can be able to still drive like this. I mean, we can't steer, but we can... Oh, we can steer, but we can't really accelerate on the corner. If you look at the inside, the driver would have been okay. Same thing if it would have been a right-hand drive vehicle. This guy would have survived compared to the last one at Lakeside where I crashed into the control tower. So last part of the video, we're going to be going over to Brutal Slope to end the vehicle's life there. Before we drop this down the ramp, what's it like getting at top speed at a wall, like this flat wall going around 100 miles an hour? So we're going straight as we can. Exhaust is popping like it's South Detroit up in here. And I'm going to give you a camera angle right now. So 100 times slow-mo with the distance-sponsored H-Series, along with Trax, Dalhura, Fujitsu, Vex, Micon, NFX, Springs, and everybody that's sponsoring this truck. It goes pretty much splat, but not like a big-time splat. So speed up to 8. We're now pretty much airborne full-time. The engine still runs somehow. Did all of a sudden the freaking headlights just turn a Fetty Wap or something? We can back up. We could steer proper. What? Hold on a second. Take this to some concrete here. Okay. Can it drive? Are you kidding me? It survived a 100-mile-an-hour wall hit. It is an auto steering to the left. Yes, it is, from damaging the alignment while hitting the wall. I mean, this is stupid. We could... Okay, turn right. It turns right. Turn left. It turns left. How can a truck do that after smashing the wall at 100 miles an hour? That is just so stupid. So let's slowly skateboard down this ramp, and can we improve our holy transmission? 0 to 60 to 4.86 seconds, and V10 is going Super Saiyan. Cover your ears, kids. And dead. Oh, we wheel spin. We're wheel spinning. Deja vu. I just been in this ramp before, and we're gonna fall off the ramp. Tire deflated. Can we crash into these trees? If not, I think we can. We can crash into these trees. I think we'll just substitute by crashing into these trees and get a camera. Do it as is. Damn, son. Main engine broken, even though the engine was broken a long time ago, and I thought that back bumper piece was about to boomerang and slam into the side of the truck. Pretty much somewhat extensive damage, but not as extensive as I thought wrapping around a tree. How about shutting the engine off and just let it... What are you doing, man? Neutral. There you go. What if I go back to drive? Okay, don't go back to drive, kids. Don't. Alright, so 190, 200 and counting. And just like that, turning off the engine, throwing in neutral really works out. What's it like when we exit the ramp at what speed we're going to be going? 137 miles an hour, it said. And here we go. Get ready for a camera right now. And here we go. Super truck. Go to 16, back to 100 times, and smash. It goes to rear bumper. And it's just going to do the worm. There goes the back of the chassis. Will the cab do the same thing? Pretty much. Did that. Go to 8 times. Track it a little. Definitely going airborne. And full time the regular cam. And did we kill the engine or not? There goes a wheel. Back bumper. So we lost one of the 4 wheels. And can we turn this on? Oh, hell no, Scott. Can we drive? Oh, hell no. I mean, we're hard steering to the left. Can we steer left even more, or no? No, we can't. I can't steer whatsoever, so we're just infinitely steering left until the engine just dies. Piston rings are damaged, engine torque reduced. This thing is gonna die any second now. Head gasket damaged. Let's save the engine before it dies on us. Just like before, skateboard down the hill and crash down the little wedge thingy, which I call it even though it's a flat wall, and you're just gonna get yourself wedged down between the wall and the ground and your vehicle. We're probably gonna reach like whatever 220 miles an hour going down the hill here and smash into the wall. See, I was right. 220 to probably 322 once we 332 once we hit the wall. So get a camera going right now. Here comes the super truck. Speed up a little and back and hit. There goes the roof. There goes the cab, completely annihilated. And can we get everything? Nope, we just got the cab that is completely annihilated. So full time. And just like that, cab is annihilated except for the back bumper piece. Bring this back to flat land to give you the aftermath of destruction. Like, pretty much like that. And like that, we are staring at the sky. Get a closer look. Oh my god. The lights still work? Hell yeah, they do. And the tire is fapping in the background. Stop doing it, man. Grow up. So lights work somehow. Even though we're staring dead at the sky. Probably giving its last wishes before it goes to vehicular heaven up above. I should probably believe in vehicular religion, like, real soon, if this is proof that vehicular religion exists. So that'll do it with automation and BeamNG.drive with the JMC H-Series Super Truck. This truck isn't that bad, to be honest. Well, it's got all that wheel spin, weighs quite a bit, and it's got a powerful V10 engine. The thing is, this is what these race truck drivers race in. A beefy truck designed for speed, acceleration, cornering, and also having reliable brakes. It's a major step up from my old semi-truck, the Cascade SE, a wannabe Freightline competitor that's slow as hell and has zero stopping distance. If this truck would have had similarities to the Cascade, then mark me as the worst designer in automation. At least I've learned from the past, as I've built that truck like 6 months ago. So this has been Mr. Jack and 000. I'll see you in the next video.